news on Saturday for Ole Miss was big. Saturday
literally. He's 6'5", 270. Yeah, it was literally big news. God, come on, man. Give me something.
He's a big guy.
Don't shake your head.
The number one player in the state of Mississippi.
That's rough.
Terrible.
Cam Franklin, out of Lake Cormorant High School in DeSoto County, was announcing his commitment. He has been highly sought after. The alleged 4 finalists were Tennessee, Miami, Auburn, and Ole Miss. And if you followed kind of the reporting of this recruiting battle as early or late as, I don't know, a week ago, Auburn appeared to be in the lead. I had someone tell me that Hugh Freeze had made this personal, that it was his,
No.
That his sole focus right now was getting 5-star Mississippi defensive end Cam Franklin. And Cam made his announcement on Saturday. And he unzipped his jacket to reveal an Auburn shirt. And then he gave Hugh Freeze and Auburn the old okey doke and took off the Auburn shirt to reveal an Ole Miss shirt and said that he was staying in the SIP and all of those things. Truth of the matter is, this was a player that Ole Miss really, really needed to get for a lot of reasons, right? Number one player in the state of Mississippi, position of need, impact player, keeping an in-state player at home, winning a recruiting battle with multiple other programs in the SEC and outside the SEC, and getting a star high school player, not just a transfer portal guy. Ole Miss is going to continue to use the transfer portal, but it feels as if there has been a little bit of a shift in recruiting philosophy, and Ole Miss has had some. Now, this is a commitment. It is not a signed national letter of intent. It is not he is enrolled on campus. It is a commitment, and there is a lot of time between now and National Signing Day in December. But you would rather be in the position that Ole Miss is in than not right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the overwhelming – see, that's why you want commitments, right? And you're right. I mean, there's 35 stars, give or take, depending on your service, roughly 30. 5-star defensive linemen don't grow on trees. They are highly coveted. Everybody wants them. And they're not going to stop, and Hugh Freeze is not going to stop recruiting him until the very end. If you're an Auburn fan, you hope he didn't send the DM that he probably typed out after the little okey doke that he did. But,
hey, Dad, what do you think was in that DM that he was thinking about sending?
But anyway,
probably feared for his soul.
The commitment essentially means nothing because, as you said, there's no signature on paper. But the far overwhelming majority of commitments do stick. That's why you want them. You want commitments because the overwhelming majority of them do stick. It's still significant, if nothing else, even though it's not over. But a lot of credit belongs to Pete Golding on this and all of their recruiting efforts. They are going to sign a larger high school class than they have the last couple of years. They already have more commitments in it than they have the last couple of years. And when you look at the defensive side, you said it, in the state of Mississippi and on the defensive line, breaking news more at 11, you can't win football games without being good in the trenches, especially on defense. And they've got two four-star defensive linemen committed, both from Mississippi, and now a 5-star defensive lineman committed from Mississippi. A lot of that can be attributed to how good the class is, but Pete Golding stepped in and made it a point to build relationships in the state. And you're seeing, even though it's not finished yet, the fruits of that labor.
We get a question on the C Spire text line. Will he play defensive end or defensive tackle? I have no idea. I mean, he's listed as a rush end. He's an edge rush player. He is big. At Borky said a second ago, 6'5", 270. I have no idea how his body develops over the course of his senior year and where Ole Miss needs him and where he fits best and all of those things. I have no idea. He's a defensive lineman, though. Hey, Dad, to me, there's another reason that this is significant. And it's Mississippi State is the team that for a decade and a half, has had the reputation of getting elite defensive linemen from the state of Mississippi on campus.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this represents a shift in that. I'm just saying that this is a stud defensive lineman that Ole Miss got this time as opposed to the other way around.
I mean, Ole Miss has commitments right now from the top 3 defensive linemen in this state. Now, all of them 4-star or better. And, with Franklin and with Jeffrey Rush from Pascagoula, State not really in the game for either of those two guys.
Yeah.
They just for whatever reason. It just happens. There are guys that Ole Miss is not in the game for. But Cam Beavers is a guy they would like to flip if they can. They've continued to recruit him. I don't think that they're going to be successful. It feels like he's pretty locked in with Ole Miss. But yeah, it is something when you know there's 3 Mississippi State defensive linemen sporting $100 million contracts, but the top 3 not that Pete Golding hasn't put players into the NFL and put guys with big money out there as well. So he can certainly recruit to his resume, and and that's what he's doing right now.
And we wouldn't be being transparent if not for well, you got to mention collectives as well in this deal. Ole Miss's collective is very forward-facing and apparently very well organized, and they spent the day raising $1 million today, literally today. So that's a factor in appealing to recruits now. It is what it is, and when you're organized and forward-facing,
Starkville says he will be expensive wherever he ends up.
No doubt.
Yeah.
This is definitely a very NIL forward recruitment. I mean, it's been public knowledge that Cam Franklin was going to be a guy who went where he got a good deal. That's why when our friend talked to us at Palmer Home, Miami was, at that time was offering the best deal. Then it looked like Tennessee was going to offer. Then it looked like Auburn was going to offer. Ole Miss seems to have come up with the offer that makes the most sense for him, and he gets to stay in the state. And so he's an Ole Miss Rebel. But like you guys said, signing day is a long way away, and then things, circumstances can change. We'll see if it happens. I don't think it will. I think Ole Miss will probably keep him locked up. But nobody's going to give up recruiting this kid that is recruiting him.
Yeah. And there will be heartburn among Ole Miss fans if he takes visits this year. I mean, if you get pictures of him at an Auburn game, at a Tennessee game, at a Miami game during the season, people are going to go crazy over that. But he'll also visit Oxford. And my guess is the people that are involved with this recruitment at Ole Miss will do whatever they can to make sure that he sticks with that commitment. So we'll